Imagine a world where your desires manifest simply by decreeing them. Discover the hidden power in Neville Goddard's At Your Command, where each page reveals the secret to transforming your reality. Learn how your thoughts create your world and how the Bible is, in reality, a guide to manifesting your dreams. Are you ready to command the universe? This book encapsulates the essence of the principle of manifestation. If I had wanted to, I could have expanded it into a work of hundreds of pages, but such an expansion would deviate from the true purpose of this writing. Commands, to be effective, must be brief and to the point. The greatest command ever recorded is found in the few simple words, "And God said, let there be light." Adhering to this principle, I now deliver to you, reader, in these few pages, the truth that was revealed to me, what you long for in your life because the universe is at your command. Chapter 1, At Your Command. Can a human being decree something and have it come to pass? Most certainly yes. Man has always decreed that which has manifested in his world and even today continues to decree what is manifesting in his reality and will continue to do so as long as man is conscious of being man. There is nothing that has manifested in the world of man that he has not decreed should be. You can even deny it. Try if you will not be able to prove otherwise, for this statement is based on an immutable principle. You will not succeed in ordering the things that will appear through your words or through your declarations out loud. Such repetitions are made in vain, often only confirming the opposite of what is being said. A command or affirmation will always be made through consciousness, that is, each individual must be conscious of that which he affirms for himself. A new perspective. When the Bible is read from this approach, you will realize that it is the greatest scientific work ever written. Instead of considering the Bible as a historical record of an ancient civilization or as the biography of the extraordinary life of Jesus, contemplate it as a great psychological drama that takes place in the consciousness of every human being. Take this for yourself and, when you least expect it, your world will transition from the arid desert spheres of Egypt to the promised land of Canaan. The nature of God. Everyone could agree with the statement that all things were created by God and that without him nothing could exist. However, what man fails to agree on is the identity of God. All the churches and priesthoods of the world disagree as to the true identity and nature of God. The Bible demonstrates without a doubt that Moses and the prophets were completely in agreement as to the identity and nature of God. The life and teachings of Jesus also remained in harmony with the conclusions of the ancient prophets. Moses discovered that the nature of God resides in the consciousness of the human being when he heard these little understood words, "And God said to Moses, I am that I am." And he added, "Thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you." Exodus 3 verse 14. David sang in his Psalms, "Be still, and know that I am God." Psalm 46 verse 10. Isaiah proclaimed, "I am the Lord, and there is no other, besides me there is no God. I will strengthen you, though you have not known me. I form the light and create darkness, I make peace and create adversity. I, the Lord, do all these things." Isaiah 45 verses 5-7. The consciousness of being as God is reiterated hundreds of times in the New Testament. To quote just a few, "I am the good shepherd, I am the door, I am the resurrection and the life, I am the way, I am the Alpha and the Omega, I am the beginning and the end." And again, it was not said who claimed that I am. It is not written, "I, Jesus, am the door, I, Jesus, am the way," nor was it mentioned who said that I, Jesus, am. It is clearly written, "I am the way." The consciousness of being is the door through which the manifestations of life pass before materializing in the world. Consciousness is the power of the resurrection, resurrecting that which man is conscious of being. The human being is always conceiving that which he is conscious of being. This is the truth that sets man free, for it is the individual himself who always imprisons or always frees himself. I and my Father are one. If you, reader, abandon all your old beliefs of a God separate from you and proclaim God as the essence of your consciousness, as Jesus and the prophets did, you will transform your world with the understanding that I and my Father are one. These statements, "I and my Father are one," John 10 verse 30, and "My Father is greater than I," John 14 verse 28, seem to be contradictory, but if they are interpreted considering what we have just mentioned regarding the identity of God, you will notice that they are completely enlightening. Consciousness, being God, is like the Father. That which you are conscious of being is the Son bearing witness to his Father. So it is with the individual and his conceptions. The individual is always greater than his conceptions, yet he will always be one with them. For example, before being conscious of being human, you must first be conscious of simply being, of existing. Then, next, you will become conscious of being man or being woman, and yet you continue to be the individual above your conceptions, being human, being man or being woman, adding even all the other conceptions that you may eventually have of yourself. Jesus discovered this glorious truth by declaring himself one with God, not a God that man has molded, for he never recognized such a God. He said, "If anyone says to you, 'Look, here is the Christ,' or 'There he is,' do not believe it. For as the lightning that comes from the east and is visible even in the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man." Therefore, when it was recorded that he ascended to his Father, he was saying that he ascended in consciousness to the point where he became only conscious of being, thus transcending the limitations of his physical presence. Be what you desire to be. When one is conscious of simply being, all things are possible. He said, "You will decree a thing, and it will be established for you." Job 22 verse 28. This must be your determination, to elevate your consciousness to the naturalness of being that which you long to be. As he expressed, "And I, if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all people to myself." John 12 verse 32. If I elevate my consciousness to the nature of that which I desire, I will attract the manifestation of what I desire to me, for he affirms, "No one comes to me unless the Father who sent me draws him, and I and the Father are one." Therefore, consciousness is the Father that is attracting the manifestations of life to you. In this very instant, you are attracting to yourself and to your world everything that you are conscious of being at this moment. Now you understand what was meant by the need to be born again. John 3, verse 7. If you find yourself dissatisfied with your current situation in life, the only way to transform it is to shift your attention away from the causes that seem real to you and cultivate your consciousness of being that which you long to be. You cannot serve two masters, therefore, diverting your focus from one state of consciousness and directing it towards another is equivalent to dying to one and living for the other. The question, "Who do you say I am?" Luke 9, verse 20, was not asked by a man named Jesus to a man named Peter. This is the eternal question that is posed by your true essence to your ego. In other words, who do you claim to be? For your self-conviction, your opinion about yourself, is what will determine your expression in life. He said, "You believe in God, believe also in me." In other words, in me, within you, resides this God. Pray, yes; beg, no. True prayer consists of feeling and acknowledging as already having that which you desire to possess now. It is of no use to keep asking or imploring a God external to you. This explains why millions of prayers go unanswered. Human beings pray in the wrong way. For example, being conscious of being poor while begging God for riches will bring you the result of that which you are conscious of being, which is poverty. Prayers, to be successful, must be affirmations instead of supplications. So, if you wish to pray for wealth, transform that image of poverty that you harbor in your mind. Ignore the evidence of your senses and assume in this very instant the nature of being rich. It is written in the Bible, "But when you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you." Matthew 6, verse 6. Here we can identify the Father as being the consciousness of being, therefore, you will always have that which you are conscious of being. If I pray asking to get out of poverty, I am being conscious of being poor, then, my consciousness of being poor will keep me where I am conscious of being, that is, in poverty. We can also identify the door as being the consciousness of being, so, closing the door means disconnecting from what I am conscious of being now and declaring to be what I desire to be. From the moment my affirmation is established to the point of becoming a conviction, I begin to attract to myself the evidence of that which is being affirmed. Do not question how or when things will happen, for no human being knows about that. That is, no one knows in what way the desired things will manifest. Consciousness is the way or the door through which things will manifest. "I am the way," he said. "Not I to you, am the way, but I am the consciousness of being the way through which everything has to pass. The signs always follow, they never precede. Nothing that is outside of your consciousness exists in your world, therefore, first obtain the consciousness and things will be compelled to exist in your reality. It is written, "But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." Seek first to have consciousness of the things you truly desire and let them develop naturally. This is what is meant by everything you determine to accomplish will come to pass. Today we are going to advance in our expansion of consciousness, Chapter 2, at your command. The principle of conception. Apply this principle and you will know what it is to believe in order to see. The story of Mary is the story of every human being. Mary was not a woman who miraculously gave birth to someone named Jesus. Mary is the consciousness of being that always remains virgin, no matter how many desires it gives birth to. Look at yourself as this Virgin Mary from now on, being impregnated through your own desire, becoming one with this desire to the point of embodying it or giving birth to it. For example, it was said that Mary, who you now know is a reference to yourself, had never been with a man and yet gave birth. That is, you, John of the Cross, have no reason to believe that what you desire now will be possible, but as you have discovered your consciousness of being as part of God, make this consciousness your husband and conceive a son, a manifestation of the Lord, for your Creator is your husband, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel and your Redeemer, he is called the God of the whole earth, Isaiah 54, verse 5. Your ideal, where they are, this conception, the first command to her, which is now also given to you, is go and tell no one, that is, do not discuss your ambitions or desires with other people, for they will only evoke the fears present in you. Silence is the first law to be observed for the realization of your desire. The second point, as we read in the story of Mary, is, then Mary said, "My soul magnifies the Lord," Luke 1, verse 46. We identify the Lord as your consciousness of being, therefore, magnifying the Lord is the same as re-evaluating or elevating your current conception of yourself to the point where that re-evaluation becomes natural. When that naturalness is reached, you will give birth, becoming that with which you are united in consciousness. The creation of all things. The story of creation is told to us in summary form in the first chapter of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. John, verse 1. The now, this exact moment, is the beginning. It is referred to in this verse as the beginning of a need, of a desire. The Word is the desire that probes your consciousness seeking its personification. The need itself does not possess reality, for I am the consciousness of being is the only reality. The things I desire to be only gain life at the moment I become conscious of being them. So, for the realization of a desire, observe the second part of this first verse of John, that is, and the Word was with God. The word or desire must be fixed, united with consciousness, so that it can gain reality. Consciousness becomes conscious of being the desired thing, giving it form, giving life to its conception or resurrecting that which until then was only a dead or unrealized desire. If two of you agree on earth about anything that they may ask, it shall be done for them by my Father who is in heaven. Matthew 18 verse 19. This consensus will never be reached between two individuals, but between your consciousness and the purpose of your desire. You are now aware that you are conscious of being. Therefore, recognize that you are always addressing yourself, even without using the words I am. If it is a state of health that you wish to attain at this moment, even before you have any evidence of well-being in your world, you must begin to feel yourself being healthy. In the precise instant that the feeling of I am healthy is achieved, the two have agreed, that is, I am and healthy have agreed to be one, and this agreement will always result in the birth of a child, which is the objective of this pact, in this case, health. And because you sealed the agreement, it is you yourself who will carry it out. Thus you can understand why Moses declared I am has sent me to you, for who, besides me, besides I am, would send me? No one, for I am the Lord and there is no one else besides me, there is no God at my side. If you create wings and fly to the ends of the world, or if you make your life a hell, you will still be conscious of being. You will always express that which is at the essence of your consciousness, and your expression will always be the essence of this consciousness. And again, Moses affirmed I am that I am. This is something to always keep in mind. You must not pour new wine into old wineskins, that is, your new consciousness must not have any part of the old man. All your current beliefs, fears, and limitations are weights that tie you to your present level of consciousness. If you wish to transcend this level, you must leave behind everything that is now part of your current being or conception of yourself. To achieve this, you must shift your attention away from everything that is now a problem or limitation, and focus solely on being, that is, you must silently but with consent command yourself I am. You do not yet condition this consciousness, you only declare yourself and continue doing so until you envelop yourself in the feeling of simply being, without face and without form. When this expansion of consciousness is attained, then, in this deep essence of yourself, of form and aspect, your new conception feeling yourself being that which you desire to be, you will discover within this deep essence of you that all things are divinely possible. Everything that you can conceive of being in this world will be a realization more than natural for you in this new and current essence of consciousness. This is the call that has been made to us in the scriptures, to be absent from the body to be present with the Lord. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 8. The body is your old conception of yourself, and the Lord, your consciousness of being. This is what is meant when Jesus said to Nicodemus, Truly, truly, I say to you, unless one is born again he cannot see the kingdom of God. John 3 verse 3. That is, unless you abandon your current conception of yourself and assume the character of a new birth, you will continue projecting your current limitations. The only way to transform your expressions in life is by changing your consciousness, for your consciousness is the reality that eternally solidifies into the things that surround you. The world of the human being is projected in every detail from his consciousness. Trying to change your environment or your world by destroying the things around you is the same as breaking a mirror to try to change the reflection of your image. Your environment and everything within it reflects what you are in your consciousness, and you will maintain this reflection in your world for as long as you continue being what you are in your consciousness. Be great, knowing this, begin to self-evaluate. The human being has given very little value to himself. In the book of Numbers, you will read that in those days there were giants in the land, we were like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in their sight. This does not refer to a time in a distant past when there existed men with the stature of giants, but to the days of today, our eternal now, where the circumstances that surround us have reached the size of giants, such as our problems, debts, lies, slanders, envy, and all the things that seem to threaten you. These are the giants that make you feel like a grasshopper. But as it was said first, we were like grasshoppers in our own sight, and therefore, we were grasshoppers in their sight. In other words, you are to others only that which you first are to yourself. Therefore, to reevaluate yourself, begin to feel yourself being the giant, a center of power, and begin to reduce the old giants until you transform them into small grasshoppers. All the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, he does according to his will in the army of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth. No one can restrain his hand or say to him, What have you done? Daniel 4 verse 35. This that was said does not refer to an orthodox God who is seated on a throne in space, but about the only God, the Father of eternity, your consciousness of being. So, awaken the power that you have, not as man, but as your true self, a consciousness without form and without face, and free yourself from the prison in which you have placed yourself. I am the good shepherd, I know my sheep, and am known by my own, John 10 verse 14. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me, John 10 verse 27. Consciousness is the good shepherd. What I am conscious of being is the voice that calls my sheep, which in turn are the expression of that which I am conscious of being. The voice of your consciousness as shepherd is so good that none of its sheep fail to follow it upon hearing it. I am a voice crying in the wilderness of human confusion, and therefore, everything that I am convinced of being will never fail to come to me. I am as an open door where everything that I am can enter. Your consciousness of being is the Lord and the shepherd of your life. So, the affirmation the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, Psalm 23 verse 1, will now be seen in its true light, being your consciousness. You are never lacking in evidence or proof of that which you are conscious of being. This being true, then, why not become conscious of being great, loved by God, rich, healthy, and all the attributes that you admire. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content.